Hello students, I Pushpinder Kaur welcome you in this video session based on chapter 2 Structure of Atom. In this video session we will study about the Bohr model, its application and limitations. The atom is no longer indivisible, it is divisible into three subatomic particles named electron, protons and the neutrons. Out of electron, proton and the neutrons, the proton and the neutrons are the parts of the nucleus, but the electron is the extranuclear part of the atom. The proton having the positive charge, the electron having the negative charge, while the neutron do not have any kind of the charge. When we talk about the limitations of the Rutherford atomic model, after the gold foil experiment, Rutherford proposed its atomic model. He compared its atomic model with the solar system, as the nucleus lies in the center of the atom and the electron revolve around its orbit. As you can see in this diagram, he compared its atomic model just like a solar system, as the nucleus is present in the center just like as a sun, and all the electrons revolve around the nucleus just like the planets revolve around the sun. But the massive and the uncharged particle. On the other side, the electrons are the charged particle. It means the revolution of the electrons in the circular orbit is not be stable. Like means any particle in the circular orbit would undergo acceleration, and during the acceleration these charged particles would radiate some amount of the energy. Therefore, electron would lose energy and finally fall into the nucleus. The atom should be highly unstable, and hence matter would not exist in the form that we know. Who is these questions? The Niels Bohr, who studied in the Rutherford's lab. He successfully explained the spectrum of the hydrogen atom and presents its atomic model. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1922 for the same. According to the Bohr's model, an atom consists of a small, heavy, positively charged nucleus in the center, and the electron revolve around it in the circular path. These electrons revolve only in these orbits which have the fixed value of the energy. These orbits are called as the energy level or the stationary state. The energy of the electron revolving in the particular orbit is fixed and does not change with the time. The different energy level and change with the time. The different energy level are numbered 1, 2, 3 or K, L, M, N, starting from the shell closest to the nucleus. Since the electron revolve in those orbits which have the fixed value of the energy, hence electron in an atom can have only certain definite or the discrete value of the energy, and not the levels of the on. The energy of the electron is quantized. When the electron in an atom are in the lowest energy state, they keep on revolving in the respective orbit, as this state of the atom is called as the ground state. And the energy is emitted or absorbed only when electrons jump from one level to the second level, and when energy is supplied to an atom. An electron in the atom may jump from its normal state to the excited state, and the lifetime of this electron in the excited state is short. It immediately jumps back into the lowest energy level by emitting the energy in the form of the wavelength or in the form of the suitable frequency. The amount of the energy emitted or absorbed is given by the difference E2 minus E1, where E2 is the energy of the higher level or the excited stage, and the E1 is the energy of the ground level normal state of the electron. Angular momentum of an atom can have the certain definite or the discrete values or not any value of its own. The only permissible value of the angular momentum are given by the expression mvr is equal to nh over 2 pi, where n is equal to any integers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity of the revolving electron, r is the radius of the orbit, and h is the Planck constant. When we talk about the applications of the Bohr's model, the Bohr model is successful in the calculation of the energy of the various orbits, and the expressions for the calculation of the energies are En is equal to minus 2 pi square m e the power 4 z square over n square h square kilojoule per mole, and where m is the mass of the electron, E is the charge on the electron, Z is the atomic number, N is the any integer or the orbital value in which the electron revolves, and H is the Planck constant. You put the all values, the pi, when you put the value of pi is 3.14, m is the 9.1 into 10 to the raised power minus 31 kilogram, E is 1.6 into 10 to the raised power minus 19 coulomb, and Z is 1 for the hydrogen atom, and H value is 6.623 into 10 to the raised power minus 34. Then you will get the energy of the electron in the particular orbit in the per mole. It is equal to minus 1312 z square over n square. Similarly, in terms of the joule per atom, its value is equal to 2.18 into 10 to the raised power minus 18 z square over n square. The radius of the atom have the fixed value for the hydrogen atom, and it is given by the expression R is equal to n square into 0.529 angstrom, where n stands for its value can be 1, 2, 3 and 4, and when you want to calculate the radius of the first orbit, put the value of n is 1 and 0.529 angstrom, and the radius of the first fixed state is called as the Bohr's radius. It means the value of the Bohr's radius is 0.529 angstrom. Similarly, when you want to calculate the radius of the second orbit, put the value of n is equal to 2, and you will get the radius of the second orbit is 2.11 angstrom. And similarly, you will calculate the radius of the third orbit and the fourth orbit. Now, what do you mean by the quantization of the energy? As we know that when the electron absorb the energy, it starts jumping into the higher energy level, and in the excited state, the lifetime of the electron is very short, and by the emission of the energy, these electrons come back to their original state. And in all these forms, the energy of the electrons is fixed. It means the equal amount of the energy is absorbed or emitted during this process. Quantization means that a quantity cannot change gradually or the continuously. The electron revolve around the nucleus in the certain fixed and circular orbit, in which they can continue revolving without gaining or losing the energy. The energy of the electron cannot change continuously but can have only definite values. Therefore, we can say that the energy of the electron is fixed, or we can say the energy of the electron is quantized energy. When we talk about the applications of the Bohr's model, its first application is it explains the stability of an atom. As it successfully explains the energy states of the electrons and its angular momentum, it means now the atom is become stable due to the fixed energy levels. As the electron cannot lose energy as long as they stay in the particular orbit. It also explains the line spectrum of the hydrogen atom, and the electron neither emits or absorbs the energy as long as it stays in the particular orbit. When electron is subjected to electric discharge or high temperature, an electron in an atom may jump from normal energy level to ground level to some higher levels. Since the lifetime of these electrons in the excited state is short, it returns to the same lower energy level. During each such jump, energy is emitted in the form of the photon of light or the definite wavelength, and corresponding to each frequency or wavelength of each photon emitted, these appear a line in the spectrum. The frequency of the photon of the light emitted depends upon the energy difference of the two energy level concerned and is given by E2 minus E1, that is equal to h nu, where h is the Planck constant and nu is the frequency, where E2 is the energy of the higher energy level and E1 is the energy of lower energy level, and h is the Planck constant. After frequency or wavelength, each photon emitted, and these appear as a line spectrum, and due to this it successfully explains why the line spectrum will observe in case of the hydrogen atom. Now let us talk about some limitations of the Bohr's model. The first limitations of the Bohr model is, according to the Bohr model, the radiations result when an electron jumps from one energy orbit to another energy orbit, but he could not explain how these radiations occur. The next one is the Bohr's theory successfully explained the observed spectra for the hydrogen atom and the hydrogen-like atoms like helium positive, lithium 2 positive and the beryllium 3 positive, and in all these cases all these three atoms having the hydrogen-like structure means they only have the one electron. It means it could not explain the line spectrum for the polyelectron atoms that having the more than one electron in its orbit. The next one is it could not explain the splitting of the line spectrum in the presence of the magnetic field or in the presence of the electrical field. When any substance which gives a line spectrum is placed in the presence of the magnetic field, the lines of the spectrum get split up into the number of closely spaced spectral lines. Like this is this line spectrum is observed in the absence of the magnetic field, but when this line spectrum comes in the contact with the magnetic field, it starts splitting into the further spectral lines, and this phenomena is known as the Zeeman effect, and the Bohr theory does not have any kind of the explanation for this kind of the effect. Similarly, when this normal spectral lines comes in the contact with the electric field, the splitting of the lines is also observed. That effect is known as the Stark effect, and the Bohr theory also do not have any kind of the explanation for the Stark effect also. The next is the Bohr suggested the circular orbit of the electrons around the nucleus of the hydrogen atom, but later it was proved that the motion of the electron is not in the single plane, but it takes place in the three-dimensional spaces. Now let us discuss some numerical based on the Bohr model. The first numerical is the energy associated with the first orbit in the hydrogen atom is given by minus 2.17 into 10⁻⁻18 joule per atom. What is the energy associated with the fifth orbit? In this numerical, you can easily calculate it. En is directly proportional to 1 over n square. It means the energy of the first orbit is given to you. You have to find the energy of the fifth orbit. it means E1 over E5. The E5 is represented by the E2 here. That is equal to N2 over N1, where N1 is a 1, E1 is given to you, N2 value is 5. When you put all these values, you will get the value of the E5. Then nextly, you have to calculate the radius of the Bohr atom. That is for the hydrogen atom, Rn is equal to 0.529 into n square angstrom. And for the fifth orbit, the value of n is 5, and the value of the Bohr's fifth orbit is 13.225 angstrom. The second problem is based on your NCERT book. In this problem, you have to calculate the energy associated with the first orbit of the helium positive. What is the radius of this atom? As we know that En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 to the power 18 joule over n square z square, where z is the atomic number for the helium atom, z value is 2, and the energy of the helium atom is E1 is by putting the value of 2, that is equal to minus 8.72 into 10 to the power minus 18 joule. Similarly, the radius of the orbit is given by the equation Rn is equal to 0.0259 over z, where z is the atomic number and the normal radius is 0.0529 nanometer or 0.529 angstrom. Divided by 2, you will get the radius of the helium atom. Thank you. Have a nice day.